welcome back to my channel. It's time to do some magic. I'm starting off with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer in the hydrating one, and I'm just massaging this into my skin until it gets tacky, and then I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in Y235, I would imagine. Can't really remember right now. And I'm just using my Sephora Pro stippling brush to apply this on my face. And I'm just speeding through this because it's nothing new. You've seen this before. It's just putting some foundation on. Next up, I'm going in with eyes, and I'm starting off with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion just to prime my lids to make my eyeshadows last all day. And then I'm setting that base down with a eyeshadow, and this is from MAC in the shade Orb, which is a satin color. And I'm just dusting this all over my lids up to my brow bone just to help out blending shadows later. And then I'm going in with my Morphe 35K palette, and I'm using this kind of, how do you say, like a pale orange shade for my transition, and I'm really building this up, so I'm going to speed through this as well because it is a lot of time just blending the color. As you can see here, it's turned a bit more orange, and yeah, so I'm just going on in my crease and also a little bit underneath my eye, and then doing the exact same thing on the other side, of course. And these shadows are just amazing. I love them. Then I'm going in with that same palette, and I'm using this medium brown tone shade on the third row and second in, and just to deepen up that crease a little bit to get some definition in there, and also like contour it so it will look a bit more deep set. I'm also dusting this on, or not dusting, I'm putting it, placing it on the outer part of my eyelid just to get that color down as well. Since we are going over it a couple of times, I want this base down to make darker shades blend a little bit easier later. And then I'm taking the middle shade in the palette, which is a kind of cool tone brown, medium toned, I would say, probably. And I'm using the same brush, which is the MAC 217. I think I've used it on all these shades, or maybe it was the Morphe M433. I'm not quite sure. They're pretty much the same. I'm doing the exact same thing here. I'm just going in the crease to deepen it up a little bit, and then I'm also going over on my eyelid to get that color on there as well. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going in with the shade right next to the last one, which is a darker cold tone brown. And I'm just keeping this lower in the crease and also as well on my eyelid to get that color down as well as I did with all the other shades. And I'm not keeping this too high just because when you're using cold tone browns, you could kind of look bruised if you go way too high. Next, I am going in with the black color in this palette, and I'm just dipping the tip of my brush in there just to get as little color as possible because this is very, very pigmented. And I'm just keeping this in a very small area on the eyes, just the very outer part and also the very low crease of my eye. So I'm not going very high up with this. I'm just following the crease line a little bit to also get definition, but I'm very careful, and I'm very light-handed as well because you don't want to really go all in there because it can get ugly, if you know what I mean. So I'm just skipping over this step because I'm just doing the exact same thing, so I didn't think you would want to see that again. And then I'm going in with the same MAC shade I used in the beginning, which is Orb, on a flat shader brush. And I'm just going in on the inner part of the lid and also up to on the brow bone to get that highlighted effect and lifted brow. And then we're leaving the eyes for a little bit and going on to concealer. And first off, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 15 Fair, I would believe. And I'm just putting this under my eyes. I use this because it is a bit like corally colored or pinkish, so it will usually kind of tone down that blueness that I have underneath my eyes. And after this, I am going in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Light 2 Vanilla just to highlight my cheeks a little bit. And also I will do this to my forehead, my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. And then also blend that out, of course. And then I'm just setting that concealer under my eyes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm using the shades Vanilla and Banana to do this. After that, I am going to repeat the same steps that I did on my top lid. I'm going in with that pale orange shade just to get that transition. I switched brushes here because that was too stiff. And then I'm going in with that medium tone brown, the cool tone brown, the cool tone dark brown, and then also a little bit of the black on the outer corner. So I'm just doing the exact same thing that I did on the upper lid, just keeping it a bit more precise on the bottom since I didn't want too much going on. And then for highlighting, I'm using that same shade Orb from MAC as I did on the top lid. And after this, I'm going in with the Makeup Store eyeliner in the shade Black, just to tightline both upper and lower lash lines. And I do this because I want this look to be extra smoky. And then I'm going in with mascara. You can use any. I'm using this Clumptify by Max Factor. Doesn't really matter because we're going to put falsies on. And I'm using the Ardell lashes in the style 111. And boom, they're on. And I'm going in with that same contour kit that I used before, and I'm using the shade Fawn on a Real Techniques sculpting brush just to sculpt my cheeks out a little bit, make them a bit more prominent. And then I'm also going to slenderize my forehead a little bit with that same shade and same brush like I do right here, just to get the illusion of a smaller forehead. I'm also going to contour my nose a little bit, not much, and then I'm going in with some blush, and this is a Swedish brand which is called Kicks, and I can't remember the name of the blush, but I'll put it down below for you in the description box so you can check it out if you want to. And then after this, I'm going in with the highlight, and this is the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in the shade Highlight 01. That's always a mouthful to say. I can't never remember the whole name without thinking an extra time. Alright, so I'm going on the top of my cheeks, my nose, and my cupid's bow to get that highlighted effect. And then I remembered I forgot to do my eyebrows, as always. So I'm going in with my Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Blonde. And here I'm just showing you what I do with my pomade, not to make it like dry as quickly. So I just scoop out a little amount that I will use on my brows and then put it on the back of my hand, put the lid back on, and just use what I have on the back of my hand. And this will usually make your dip brow pomade stay a bit more wet, I guess, and not dry out as quickly. So that's a tip for you if you have that trouble. And here I'm just speeding through my brows. I don't really do anything special, I just fill them in. Very boring, I would say. And then after this, I'm going in with my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel just to set them in place because they do tend to have the life of their own. Then I'm going in with the Makeup Store lip liner in the shade Melon just to fill in my lips. This is just a pink lip liner. And then after this, I will go in with a a Max Factor lipstick. It's the Lipfinity one, and I don't have the name of the lipstick on there, of the shade, I mean, sorry. It's been, like, I don't know if they actually have that on their packaging. I'm not sure, but that's what I need. I'll put the name down below if I find it, sorry. And what I will do with this lipstick is just to put it on the outer parts of my lips and then go in with a MAC lipstick in the shade Angel, which is a bit lighter than this color, just to kind of get the effect of a ombre lip. After this, I'm spritzing my face with MAC Fix Plus, and then I'm all done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and have a nice day.